Hello out there, wonderful people out there in this crazy circus clown world. Hope you're doing fantastically well. I'm a little bit nasally today because I've had a serious bout of man flu. I'm not joking you. I've been pretty bad to be honest. And yeah, Wednesday I actually felt like what it was to die. I felt completely drained. I don't know what's going on, whether or not they're messing with the frequency of this place or what. But yeah, hope you guys don't get it. So I'm a little bit nasally, so apologies for that. But you're lucky you're getting a video because I wasn't even going to do one this week. So I'm going to do another NDE review. I did say last time I'm going to try and incorporate more of these into my channel because they're important, and the more people that speak out about the soul trap and analyze these things, the better. So if you are new around here, please consider liking, subscribing, all that stuff really helps me out. Without further ado, let's get into it. Excuse the ad.
Music and sound effects that you can use across all of your content without. Hello, my name is Reverend Honey Borden.
I chose this one because this woman is very, very new agey. And we see how her rigid beliefs tie into this a little bit later on. But you can see here all the sacred geometry. She's got all the feathered earrings. And yeah, probably she calls herself Goddess Isis or something.
And my story is about crossing over to spirit side and experiencing afterlife. On January 8th, 2012, about 7:30 p.m., my heart stopped and I came out of my body and I moved out into the room, and I was able to see myself from above down. And it was such a liberating experience, the immediate joyous feeling.
Just on that, guys, I've been trying to. One of the things I'm into at the moment is learning how to astral travel, and they say that you should do it in stages. The first one to be hovering over yourself so you can observe yourself. I haven't got there yet, but I'm trying. I don't know what it is. It's almost like my astral body doesn't want to leave yet. Maybe there's a reason behind it, but I'm trying to train myself for when the time comes that it's not going to be so freaky. So I'll let you know how I go with that.
Feeling of being out of the body and how light everything felt. I was still in a form of a body, but it wasn't the biological dense body that I was looking down, was laying on that bed. And it looked lifeless, maybe a second of a lot of compassion for that body, yet the excitement and the joy of.
Must be weird though, mustn't it? Must be weird, like just looking at yourself as a corpse. Like, well, it must be such a weird feeling. And yeah, I guess if you don't research or you don't do anything to educate yourself, it must be quite horrifying when you pop out of the body, out of your meat suit, and then you see yourself like that. And I guess this is where they get a lot of people, right? Because at that moment, that essence, that consciousness is in like trauma, it's in shock, and then they come in with all their BS.
Being out of it was much greater. And I have to say, the freedom that I felt was a freedom I had not experienced when I was in a biological body.
Yeah, also that's another interesting point. I mean, when you think about it, like our bodies, they house our consciousness, and I'm very grateful for my body. But really, they're very vulnerable the way they're designed, and I've felt that expansion before on a breakthrough trip of just feeling so incredibly light, and yeah, it's an incredible feeling, and you just wonder like how much of the prison on this prison planet the body is as well, right?
So as my body laid there and I came above the room, I looked at everything very quickly, and that took just maybe a couple of seconds. And right away, I moved out of the room, the building, and I moved out. What I would consider best is right away out of Earth. And the very first thing that
I wonder what they see. I wonder if they see the Matrix version of Earth in terms of a sphere, or if they actually see the flat Earth. I've never heard them say on this. Probably they get shown the sphere.
took place was an archangel greeted me.
Here we go. So this is what I was saying. Like the woman's clearly like into the new age stuff, and so she's heavily invested in all the new agey stuff. And what's big on in the new age? Archangels, right? So what shows up? Archangel.
And this archangel was glorious with this translucent, incredible, pinkish glowing light with what we
In their true form, they look like squid. Archangels, entities, they look like squid. So it's incredibly clever how they masquerade themselves. Look at all this light and gold and wings.
in humans consider wings, and it was Archangel Haniel. When
Archangel Hania. That's her particular flavor, no doubt.
she met me with her hands, she put this, what I would consider a vapor of some kind of like dust vapor, gold pinkish dust vapor thing, 3 rings around me. And
See, even that, right? Where I am now, in terms of, and I hope a lot of other people watching this, in terms of being sovereign, like even though that was like gold dust or whatever she said, I wouldn't want something that I didn't know that I've just met throwing that stuff around me. I don't know what that is. Who knows what it is? Maybe we'll find out. But that in and of itself is creepy. But these people are so accepting, they're so trusting that she automatically believes that whatever's been thrown on her here is something good because she's all in the feelings with the visuals, the lights, the wings. But who knows what this thing's just thrown all over her?
and I was still in my spirit body. It was very much me. There wasn't anything different. It's just I wasn't informed. And she showed me 2 corridors. To the right, I saw right away my beautiful family, incarnated family that had crossed over, such as my grandmother, my grandfather, my cousins, uncle.
There's the family showing up.
I could see all of them and they were clapping excited. And one of my recent uncles that had transitioned, they were all there and there was a lot of noise. And
My bet is really those family members are probably back down. They've probably all been recycled back. And these are just, I don't know, holograms or entities masquerading.
excitement in waiting for me. And it was beautiful, this one corridor that I was looking at. And Archangel Haniel was standing before me, and then to my left was another corridor, more like what you would consider a almost like a portal, but it was more of a corridor. And in this was just kind of darker color, different blue shades of light, yet much more towards the electric blue.
You hear this a lot in these NDEs that some of the colours seem really awe-inspiring. A lot of these people actually report seeing colours that don't even belong here on Earth, and you wonder if this is all part of the jazz and the fluff and the glitter.
And indigo blue color with some hues of, I would say, platinum color in that. And she pointed.
Not everything that is gold glitters. I love that saying. It really does apply to the new age, to the soul trap.
To the corridor to my left, everything was in telepathic communication. And I looked at her for a second almost like confused. They're my family there. I'm supposed to go there. And she pointed to the left corridor right away without any direction, without.
But you have been directed. She just pointed to the left. So the chances are you're going to go to the left.
Her pushing me or anything like that. My body, my spirit body moved towards this.
She didn't push her, but she very subtly directed her. And where intention goes, energy flows. So she goes down this tunnel.
Corridor, and it was a lightning speed. It went so fast. It was like I traveled through time and space. I don't know how long that took, but it seemed it was just at a speed of light, very fast. And when I came out in this other side, what I would say was a complete different dimension. Suddenly, I was no longer in the spirit body. I was as a consciousness that had a bit of a hue, color of a very, very gentle, pale gold white. And with that, I was inside what I would best consider.
Want more clicks on your YouTube videos? Your thumbnails are one of the most important elements of the success of your content. But how can you know?
Describe as a nebula. There were incredible, amazing little clusters of colors. There wasn't a sound. It was very silent, yet a beautiful sound.
I can't wait for that, the silence. Not saying I'm going to go there, but you know how noise triggers me.
Silence, a silence that I had never experienced. Some of these I would experience in glimpse of it in meditation, yet this was so beautiful.
Of course she meditates.
And there wasn't even a telepathic communication because there was nothing to communicate with. It was the consciousness was experiencing this, and I would call that pure consciousness. I was aware I was part of all of it, and all of that was part of the.
I've felt that before. It's incredible. It really is a very bizarre feeling. Everything that you thought you were just rolls into nothing. It's crazy. All your problems, everything that you think you are, you suddenly become something like much, much bigger, like everything.
Awareness of the consciousness that I was, and I could recognize this is where I am. So from there, somehow it's like the consciousness was moving in a way that I can't even describe in this plane of reality, where my consciousness was, it kind of like moved into this next other place, and this other place was more of a form. And when my consciousness arrived, it was a gorgeous room.
Just one thing here to know. We kind of know what's probably going to happen here, but I described on one of my previous videos that your consciousness is like driving a car. You drive it to where you want to go, and it's almost like she's allowing herself to just float here and there and everywhere. And eventually, I guess if there's no direction, then either the matrix will come in and direct her, or there'll be some doubt, where do I go? And then they end up back in these manipulations. So for me, again, personally, if I'm in that state, my intention's still going to be, okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. But it's all sort of up in the air. There's no sort of plan with her. And I wonder where this place is.
Almost circular or semicircular with what we would consider windows, but they weren't windows. It seemed like windows. And there were 12 beings, very large blue beings that were
creepy,
were translucent. Their face couldn't be seen. Behind them were these white hue color highlighting them. So there were 6 of
their faces couldn't be seen. Would you trust anything where you can't see their face? I don't know if I would. I want to look into someone's eyes, let alone their face.
On each side, and there was a space in between them. And my consciousness was brought there. So from there, what would seem...
My consciousness was brought there. See, she's not in control at this stage. Something else is in control of her consciousness, or is directing or leading her.
As a screen open up towards where that space was.
Here we go with the life review.
Between these 12 very large beings, about, I would say, like 18 to 20 feet. And they brought my lifetimes on that screen, very fast moving slides and slide, or at least I would interpret it as slide, moving from all of these lifetimes that I had on Earth, which was 844.
Oh my God, 844 lifetimes. I wonder how many times we've been here, guys. I swear, probably thousands. I feel like I've been here thousands. 844. Jesus.
Lifetimes. Some of these lifetimes, they had a kind of like it would almost like the screen would come out, highlighting.
So wait, do they guilt and shame people for their previous lifetimes at the end of a particular lifetime? This is interesting.
Very specific historical times that I was on Earth and in different bodies, male figure, elder figure, native, I mean, all kinds of different forms that I was in. And then brought to this soul agreement between my biological mother on Earth, my father, and my brother, and the agreements that was made between us before I came into form on Earth. So all of that was shown and very specific.
Everything's contractual, guys, it seems. I was having this conversation in my training group on my course, and yeah, we see everywhere, contracts everywhere in this physical life. You know, these entities will, trick us into signing contracts. A good film to watch about this is called Jupiter's Rising. And you really see how everything's contractual. So it's really interesting that she mentions that here between family members.
Information about it. One of the most interesting one was around the time of Christ when he walked on earth was shown, plus few other ones very specifically. Then these 12 beings.
The thing is, you don't, because they're such liars and deceivers, you don't even know if, I mean, she got told she's had 844 lives. Who knows? Maybe she's had 8,000 lives. Maybe they make up these false lives. So they'll show her these certain periods of time. Maybe she wasn't even alive then. I mean, they never get questioned. No one ever discerns what they say. They just seem to be able to say anything to people, and people just believe them, which is the case with this woman as well. They're not like trying to drill down on what they're saying at all.
Beings brought into the center what was a DNA strand. My consciousness was observing that, and they were communicating that this was my DNA strands, and they readjusted a few things in this DNA strand, and they spoke about.
Who are they to readjust her DNA strand? Like, who are these people? Not people, these entities. Like, if someone's there messing with your DNA, that's your DNA. Like, why is she not saying, what are you doing to my DNA? Like, don't do that to my DNA. You don't have my consent to do that to my DNA. But no, because they're all light and hoods and wise and all this stuff, they just get away with literal murder.
The 8th strand completion, and the other 12 will be when at a later time. At that moment, they didn't say when I go back to Earth, because I didn't even know I would be coming back to Earth. But certain golden things were taking place within this DNA strand that telepathically I recognized was my DNA coding and the codex of what was in there. So from there, I have to also share this. The experience of being in this kind of council meeting, it was...
You hear this a lot, this like council of elders. I think subconsciously, we have an affinity to elders, and that equates to wisdom. You look at cultures like Japan and Korea, particularly in Asia, there's a very great respect for elders, even though most traditions are BS and based on mind control and religion and all this stuff that really hasn't moved the dial forward in terms of our evolution. But of course, you can't question it because it's old. This is the argument with like the chakras and things like that. Oh yeah, but they used to do that in Tibet in ancient times. So what? We're still enslaved. Where has it got us? So they use this whole idea of elders and wisdom. Seems to be quite a lot in these NDEs.
Best word I had was some kind of federation meeting, and they had expected me.
The Galactic Federation.
And
it completely changes the structure of the face in just 2-3 months. Now there's the Jazzerciser is really big in Hollywood.
Jazzerciser?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. So when my consciousness arrived, they welcomed and they communicated that they were waiting for my arrival, and they welcomed me back home. And
welcome. The welcome party's there. How nice of them.
They were the Arcturian Golden Council.
Arcturians are entities, friendly aliens that masquerade themselves.
Of 12.
Isn't it funny? There's the new virus has been named in the UK as Arcturius. There must be something in our subconscious that has an affinity to Arcturians or Arcturius or Arcturian energy. Maybe we subconsciously have memories of dealing with these entities that call themselves Arcturians. Wouldn't surprise me.
The elders specifically. And they communicated that I was part of that, so my other body was there while this other body was on Earth. So from there, in the center, the 6 beings stepped a little bit more on the side, and this beaming light began to descend into that space where it was empty. It started very light and became blinding, so blinding, and the experience of its love expedited.
Love bombing with the light.
To a love that I could have never, ever even imagined.
False white light frequency. Very, very difficult to get away from that if you're lured in by that, it seems. Once they hit you with the love bomb, pretty much you're going to be recycled back. But very, very difficult to move away from it if you're not aware of manipulations.
And my consciousness began telepathic.
Also, it's really cruel. A lot of people on Earth, have a lifetime full of trauma. They don't feel love. A lot of people with abandonment wounds, so then they pass and they get hit by that. Of course, they're going to gravitate towards it. It's completely evil.
Hearing a voice. It was a male figure voice that I recognized instantly, because it was a voice that a few times in my human life I had heard this voice, and I had no idea who it was. I just knew it, and I had taken some dramatic steps when I heard this voice before. And as this blinding light was getting closer and closer and being more saturated in its blinding light, so my consciousness was moving more towards it, like going towards the light, and it was so blinding. And from this incredible luminous glowing light, a figure began to present itself, and as it got closer,
robes, they're always in robes equate to wisdom.
At least it seemed it was getting closer. My consciousness just received, and it was the living Master Christ, Yeshua. And it was,
of course, Jesus.
So much love that I can never ever capture in this consciousness. It's not even possible, the experience of it. And with this glowing eye,
I would see that. I think that's so creepy. I don't know. Just people are just so desperate. They're so desperate. And what's really sad, as I said about the other one that I reviewed, is that the chances of this woman actually coming through this information, this experience, and actually questioning it and concluding that this is a soul trap, there's no chance. Like she's basically been played. She's now down here as a matrix marketeer, and there's no way that she's going to believe that what she went through was anything other than pure bliss. So I always feel really sad for these people because they're never ever going to listen to someone like myself saying that this is a manipulation, this is trickery. It's really sad.
Eyes, this beautiful eyes, communicated to me and said to me specifically, in telepathically, he said, "You cannot be with us, my child. You have to return back to earth and share this." And he went like this with the,
"You have a mission to market the matrix for us."
Information. And he also said, "It's your last human incarnation. Go finish it. We're waiting for you."
I'd be like, yeah, can I have that in writing, please?
Followed by a few other things that I cannot say here. And just in that moment where my consciousness was basking in this divine, glorious love, and what I was experiencing without my permission, without
my permission. She says it herself, without my permission.
Any asking, without communicating, without anything. As he finished, "You must go back and assist others with a few things." Just like that, my consciousness was moved to one plane of reality, then to another dimension. Then it went through that corridor that we speak of, and it was so fast, so lightning fast, and I was dropped into my body. And
no choice. You've got to go back. Boom, straight back into the body. There was no discussion that took place. How is that a beautiful, loving thing to happen? Like if someone that you didn't know forced you into a house without your consent, you wouldn't think that that was a good thing to do. But because he's got the beard, because she's been love bombed, and she says herself, there was no consent.
Next thing I knew, I was back in the body that I was before, but it was different. The first immediate thing was the amount of jolting, like as if my body was plugged into a 1,000-watt, 2,000-watt electricity. And I got up from the table right away, and I couldn't speak, I couldn't say anything. And with that, I was aware my consciousness was in this body, but it was different. It was like as if that other body that I had come out it still was, but it was something else. And I recognized there was a part of what we would consider walking had come in. And from that, within 3 days, my entire body, physical body, was healed from the illness that I had transitioned out of.
You hear this quite a lot. Sometimes there seems to be like a bit of a payoff. These people get healed really quickly from whatever's happened. Probably that's their part of the bargain for becoming a matrix marketeer.
And my entire journey began. I was returned back to deliver a specific instruction, which was about 40 places on Earth that I needed to right away travel to and deliver a specific task on the land. And they told me they would take care of everything, and they did. And with that, I was completely changed as a person. So that led into closing my center, separation from my husband, everything. And I was shown that there would be a partner coming into my life where we will carry this mission for humanity forward.
Yeah, probably someone else that's been through the process.
And it has to do with the energies of within, this sacred marriage within that unifies, comes together.
Straight out the New Age, all this stuff.
There for the service of this greater call. And that's exactly what took place. This is my shorter version story of experiencing life after death, which was a truly incredible celebration and full recognition that there is no death.
See what she's doing for the Matrix. She's now back down here, parroting all this to everyone. So people, when they pass over and they see and hear and feel all this stuff, they're going to think it's completely all right. It's completely normal because they remember seeing her talking about it. And then so the cycle continues. So I don't think I need to go on there. We're at the end of the video there. So guys, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I say, sorry if I've been a bit nasally. If you like, please click the like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you all again very soon. Take care.